Hi, how are you? So in this video I'm going to do a little recording test with my Sony MiniDisc Walkman. This Walkman plays mini discs, but it also records. I bought this MiniDisc Walkman secondhand last year. I bought it off of eBay. I forget exactly what I paid for it, but I know it was less than $40. I got a pretty good deal on it. And I actually have a playlist on this channel dedicated to mini discs, and I encourage you to check that out. I just got into mini disc recording last year. I had always been interested in it. I sort of discovered mini discs back when they were kind of popular in the 90s. A friend of mine had one, and I remember one time we had a jam session, and my friend recorded our jam session with his mini disc recorder, and I was always intrigued by it, and I always found it very interesting. Now, of course, they don't manufacture mini disc players or recorders anymore, but you can buy them used on places like eBay. Sometimes they're still sealed, so you can still buy new old stock. And over on the left here, I actually have some blank mini discs that I also found on eBay, and I ordered them from Japan. And it's actually quite easy to find blank mini discs. Again, they're not being manufactured, but there's still a lot of still sealed new old stock out there. And I got these for a pretty good price too. I think after, even with taxes and customs and shipping and all that fun stuff, it still worked out to be about $8 each for each blank mini disc. So in this video, I'm just going to record my voice and see how it sounds. Now, I will mention quite some time ago I did a recording with a mini disc player similar to what I'm going to do in this video, and I remember the sounds coming from the mini disc recorder were quite loud. And I remember the sounds were so loud, and what I mean is when you would hit record on the mini disc recorder and it would start spinning the mini disc inside the unit to engage to start recording, the sound of all that was actually picked up by the microphone. It was quite noisy. So I'm wondering if that will happen again. So that's a big reason why I want to do this test with my mini disc recorder. I'll also mention this particular mini disc recorder, the model number is MZ-R91, and I'm going to be recording with this little Sony lavalier microphone or tie clip microphone, and I actually did a review of this particular microphone a little while ago, so I encourage you to look that up. I'll put a link to that review at the end of this video. And again, it's sort of like a tie clip microphone. You can see there's the clip on the back of it to clip it to a shirt or a collar or a tie, and the model number of that microphone is ECM-LV1. Okay, so again, I've got the microphone already plugged into the side of the recorder there. So I will do a little test recording my voice, and later on at the end of the video I'll post the recording of my voice separately so you can have a listen. So let's see if we can get this thing started. I love the sound of that. And I'll stick in my blank mini disc. Okay, so I put in the blank mini disc and it... Oh wow, that is really loud. Yikes. Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned, these things can be pretty loud, especially by today's standards. And I'll mention that, I mentioned this in my last video, these mini disc recorders, again, they were pretty popular in the 90s, especially in many Asian markets. But they didn't really catch on in North America all that much. There was sort of a niche following in North America, but they never really took off. But I was under the impression that, you know, mini discs kind of died away in sort of 95, 96, but I actually think this particular model, I looked it up and it was actually manufactured in 1999, I believe. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I put in the blank mini disc and I'm going to do a little recording and we'll see how it sounds. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to hit record. And as you can see, it is now recording my voice. I'm speaking into the lavalier microphone. And I can hear the disc spinning inside the unit. I'll just talk for a few moments and we'll listen to it later and see how it sounds. But as you can see on the screen, it's indicating that the mini disc is spinning. And we have our counter over here indicating how many seconds our recording is. And yeah, it seems to be working fairly well. I'm holding the microphone about 6 or 7 inches from my mouth, so hopefully it's not too loud or too quiet. And we'll see how this recording sounds. So I'm going to stop the recording. So now it's saying data save. You can see it's flashing on the screen, data save. And I think it'll do that for a few seconds. And as you can tell, yeah, you can hear the noises coming from the unit. Okay, so it was flashing the words data save. Now it's flashing TOC edit, which you may be able to see on the screen there. And now it says disk error. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to try that again and see if we have better luck. Let's try this again. Okay, so I'm going to hit record again. Okay, so I hit record again, and you can see over there on the left hand side there's a record button. It's kind of flashing. Okay, so I'm recording my voice with the Sony MiniDisc Walkman. Again, the model number is MZ-R91. The first recording attempt did not work. It said that there was a disk error. So I'm trying again, and once again I'm using the Sony lavalier microphone ECM-LV1, and I'm speaking into the microphone right now and recording it direct to the MiniDisc Walkman. So I will hit stop, and later in the video I'll share the recording and you can hear how it sounds. So right now I'm going to hit stop. And again it's saying data save. And this is what it did before. It kind of flashed data save for a few seconds, and then it said TOC edit, and then it said disk error. Okay, so I tried to do a recording of my voice. It didn't work. I had a lot of difficulty. I kept getting the message of disk error. So I decided to actually open a fresh blank mini disc, and I'll give that one a try and see if I have any better luck. Basically, I did my recording, I hit stop, and then it would say data save on the screen. It would keep saying data save, data save. It would say that for a few minutes, and then it would say TOC edit. It would say that for about 30 seconds, and then it would say disk error, and it kept doing this 2 or 3 times. So again, I'm going to try with this fresh disc. So let's see if I have any better luck with this. Okay, so I can tell it's getting the blank mini disc ready. Yep, it says blank disc. Okay, I'm going to hit record. So as I said, right now I'm speaking into the Sony lavalier microphone model number ECM-LV1, and I'm recording my voice directly onto the Sony MiniDisc recorder. I can hear some sounds coming from the machine itself as the recording is being made. And as I said earlier, I'll play this recording at the end of this video separately so you can listen closely and hear how it sounds. I'll put the microphone up close to the recorder just so you can get a good idea of the sounds that it's making. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the recording. My voice directly onto the Sony MiniDisc recorder. I can hear some sounds coming from the machine itself as the recording is being made. And as I said earlier, I'll play this recording at the end of this video separately so you can listen closely and hear how it sounds. I'll put the microphone up close to the recorder just so you can get a good idea of the sounds that it's making. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the recording.